So right now in the markets, we're getting a bit of a rally across the markets. And I know a lot of people are starting to become very optimistic about what's going on because we're getting a very sharp rally in the Dow Jones. The S&P 500 and the Dow and the Nasdaq are lagging a little bit. And I'm going to talk to you about what I'm seeing through there. And what I do believe, guys, is this is actually a sucker rally, okay? We're going to at least get another big leg down coming real soon. I believe it's like buy the rumor, sell the news with the whole Fed thing happening right now. So I'm going to be looking at all that. Plus also I'm going to be looking at one stock that I believe is getting ready for a really good shorting opportunity. I'm going to also share with you the one stock that I'm looking to possibly buy as an investment. And then also I'm going to be sharing with you what's going on with Tesla, because if Tesla breaks certain levels, it's going to have a really big down leg. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, I am running a webinar today. If you'd like to learn I'm going to be sharing with you my #1 trading system for the last 17 years. And then also I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 secrets that I've learned in the last 17 years to making an income from trading. Very first thing in the description below, guys. If you are struggling with your trading right now, you need to join my free webinar. Very first thing in the description. Go join that right now. So let's go have a look at the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones right now is having a very big vertical spike. And this to me right now is a sucker rally. Okay, what's happening right now is I know a lot of, I call them bumblebees, right? Because what is a bumblebee? A bumblebee, it's not a put you down term. It's a term for the amateurs who don't understand. And the big boys understand that most of the retail traders out there, they don't have any plan, they don't have any system, any approach, and therefore that's the reason why they lose money, right? So what ends up happening is that they go through this process, right? They go through the process of what I'm talking about here. And they don't understand, and amateurs don't understand that when the market goes up a lot, that people then tend to buy, and then we get pullback. So right now, to me, this is a sucker rally. I don't know what's going to come out, but I believe something's going to come out real soon and knock this market down. What tends to happen, especially like, look at this here. So this is the Dow Jones, okay? So we're looking at the Dow Jones right now. And you can see how the Dow Jones has had a very big, strong move to the upside. But what's happening with the momentum indicator, the moving average? My 52 moving average is still doing that, okay? Whenever we get a very big, strong move up, but the moving average is still going down, guess what tends to happen? The market at least gets a drag down like this to meet the moving average, and then possibly we start an upward trend, right? But not now. We haven't started an upward trend. The trend has not changed. We're still in a very big downward trend. So do not be thinking that the trend has changed, and because this is, look at this here. This is what happened last time. They sucked people in, and then they dropped it on your ass, okay? And so the amateurs or the big boys, they're doing it again in this market, right? Nothing has changed right now. If something was going to change, we would need the market to come down, create some sort of a higher low to show the buyers coming back in, and then we start to see an upward move. But for now, this is a sucker rally, and we will be getting some sort of a strong pullback out of this. Now, whether it's going to be a crash or not, I don't know. But what I do say is this is a sucker rally with what's going on the Dow Jones. Okay, looking at the S&P 500, look at this here. So we had a very big strong move down. We created this lower low, and now we're getting this rally up. Again, this is just and especially on the S&P. Look at this here. The S&P is just getting a very strong move to the upside. But look at the moving average, all right, coming down through here, right, coming down. And then same for the Nasdaq as well too, right? Look at this here. The Nasdaq has had barely any move, right? Barely any move when it comes to these markets. Now, by the way, guys, I was saying last week I did a video saying, could we get Black Friday? And I was saying we could get Black Friday. I wasn't saying we were going to definitely get Black Friday. Okay, no one knows what's going to happen. I'm just saying that maybe the Amazon earnings was going to freak the market out, and we're going to have a big sell-off in the markets. Now we didn't end up getting that. So, but that's okay, right? That's okay. We're still in the play of, guess what? This is a sucker rally in the market. So we're still getting this downward leg through here. And in a downward market, we have a down, and then we have a pullback, and then we end up getting a strong moving average like this, and then the market comes down like that, right? So what we're looking at right now is just this pullback in the markets. And especially like, look at this here last time, right? Every time we get these short little rallies through here, the market just dumps you, right? Nothing has changed in the markets right now. This is just one of those very big, strong bear market rallies. And we are likely to start to see another big leg down coming real soon. Now, when that big leg happens, it could start tomorrow. It could start in a few days time frame, right? But when this pullback is finished, I believe we're going to see another big leg down. I don't believe this bear market is finished yet. We need one big capitulation to whole big washout, and I believe that's coming. Okay, so but looking at the Nasdaq itself through there. So why I mentioned the references to moving average is the moving average is very, very, very powerful. If you have a moving average like this, if you have a moving average like this, and then the market's doing something like this, comes down, comes up, and it might pop up like that, then we end up getting another big leg down like this, right? We pop up like that, and we end up getting another leg down like that, right? Most of the time, if the moving average is trending down, we're going to get a movement down. That's why I was referencing the Dow Jones, saying, listen, guys, if the moving average is pointing down, there's a high probability we're likely to get a complete sort of at least the pullback out of the Dow Jones. If I use gold as an example, here's gold as an example, right? Every time we got a rally up to the moving average or even over the moving average, like we're getting right now on the Dow Jones, guess what? What was happening with the moving averages through here? Strong trending down, right? So therefore, the momentum continues to pull the market down in that, and therefore, it's one of the things, guys, you can add to your overall trading approach is you will have a much higher success rate. So, okay, where is the moving average trending? Okay, where is it trending? And I want to be trading with that overall trend. So let's have a look at this through here. So there was one stock that I went through on my list through here, and that is the Dow, D-O-W. Traders, here's the thing, okay? Looking at this here, we have DOW is the actual stock itself, not the Dow Jones, but the stock itself. We were in what? We were in a very big overall sort of long-term sort of channel all through here, right? And we can see that through, right? We're in this overall channel. Now look what's happened. We've come down, we rallied up, we rallied back up, and then we've actually had another big, we had a big sort of, a nice sort of breakdown bar through there, right? And then we continued down, right? Now look what's happening. We're getting another pullback. If we start to get another sort of strong breakdown from here, we're in it. We just spent all this time going sideways. We just spent all this time going sideways, and now we're just starting to break out to an upward trend. So if we start to get some sort of, when is earnings? Earnings comes out 26th of the 1st. Okay. So if we start to get some sort of like a bar like this and then a big bar like that, then guess what? If we get something like that, oh my goodness, guys, especially if we get an increase in volume, then there's a real big probability we're probably going to end up back down to here somewhere on the 20 mark. Now, if I'm looking at this market, if I'm looking at this market through here, remember I said before, right? And in that webinar with the link in the description, guys, you'll see how I use you'll see my setup I use on the charts and why, and the moving averages as well too, right? So I don't just teach you stuff. This is how I trade. So as you can see, we actually have a big double top here, don't we? So if we measure from the high of this double top here on this particular stock, and we measure to the low point of this stock, and then we project it down, it says that the actual projection is actually down there at, what is that level? That's around that 32 level through there. That's the double top projection through there. So I haven't got an entry signal yet, but this actually could be a really good shorting opportunity for me moving into the markets. Now, let's actually flip it on its head, and let's actually go to one of the markets that I'm looking to buy as an investment. Okay, so I wanted to clarify one thing. When that link in the description, guys, when you join my next webinar, I'm going to be teaching you the 3 secrets to making good income plus my trading system, okay? I trade for income, right? I trade for income, but then I also have a portfolio of long-term investments. I'm talking like 10 years view, okay? So right now, my long-term 10-year view right now is mainly focused on the metals and the mining sector. Okay, that's my 10-year view because I see an extraordinary quality move coming in that market. I just don't know when. So my long-term buy and hold 10-year view, at least, probably even 20-year view, is in that sector. Okay, so and one of the other sectors that I believe is going to happen is the crypto market. Once we get another big leg down in the crypto markets, I believe that that's going to be another sector I'm going to add to that portfolio for the next 10, 20 plus years. Make sense? So the reason why I bring that up is because the next stock I'm about to bring up to you is, I believe, is going to be a really good buying opportunity for the next 5 to 10 years, and that is none other than Meta. Okay, Meta stock. Now, here's the thing that I'm looking at with Meta stock through here. So if I bring this up through to here, let me actually let's do this here. Let's duplicate this for a minute. Let's just remove this moving average. Let's go to the weekly charts. Okay, so what I'm noticing through here with Meta stock is we have just been absolutely just demolished, right? We have gotten well below these lows through here and a big gap down, right? I believe that Meta stock right now, right? Meta stock is getting very, very close to finding a major significant bottom point. And right now it actually may be at that time. Okay. So right now we can see that we have this buying point through here, right? We have this buying point through here. This big massive leg down through here. If indeed for some reason Meta stock does do something like this, and then we start to get back above 120, this is going to be that capitulation I was saying that I'm actually expecting happening with the stock market and also the crypto market, right? I'm expecting something like this, like a big sort of breakdown, and then we're probably going to reverse. So looking at the actual Meta stock itself, I believe that this is going to be a really good buying opportunity. We know that the metaverse is going to be something major, right? The cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, metaverse. We know we're going into what's called the Great Reset, right? And I'll talk about that in a minute, about the Great Reset. But the Great Reset could actually also be a good thing as well too. Okay, but looking at Meta stock, I believe that this. Remember I said before, guys. I believe this is a good long-term buy and hold. Now we could actually, for me, I'm looking to buy this, but it could actually keep going down a little bit more, right? I'm not looking to time the bottom through here. What I am saying is this, is that even if we continue down to 40 or so on and so forth, something like that, guess what? I do believe that Facebook itself as a company is putting a lot of people worried about, I think it's like $100 billion that they lost or something like that, because obviously the stock value. But I seriously believe we're going to see something like this coming real soon out of this leg. At least on a technical level basis, that is going to happen. Now, what I mean by that is, as you can see, even when we do have very big, strong legs up, we get pullbacks, strong legs up. We've had a very, 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 very strong leg down. So at least a pullback is likely to happen. And the next sort of resistance levels is around that 200 level, right? So we're likely to at least get a very strong, sharp snapback coming out of Meta stock soon on a technical level basis to start to see a retracement, only because we've had such a big move down. Now, why I say that is, if anything has big moves up or big moves down, we tend to get, the market just does that, right? It stair steps up. It never just goes straight up like that. If it does do this, that's called a bubble on the charts. It's not called a runaway train or to the moon or so on and so forth. No, it's called a bubble. And when you get that, guess what? You tend to get a complete retracement of that. Just look at all the crypto bubbles that's happened over the last 10 or 20 years. Every single crypto bubble that went vertical, guess what? It retraced 100% of it. And if we look at cryptocurrencies right now, it's retraced almost 100% of it as well too, right? So that's called a bubble when it goes like that. But a good market will stair step, just like I'm talking about, through there. Now, let's go have a look at, last but least, on the, or not last but not, actually I'll look at Bitcoin as well too, but let's have a look at Tesla here for a minute. And I was looking at Tesla here, and look at this here. So Tesla, Tesla has a massive, massive head and shoulder formation. And whoa, look at that. So if we break 200 to 400, we could be back down towards, whoa, are you serious? That's a 200 drop to 100. Man, I know that sounds crazy and it doesn't make sense right now, but as you can see, this is a whole major level of support level through here. We could end up back down towards the lows 100s or something like that in Tesla. maybe not. And the reason I'm saying maybe not, and I'm even hesitating by doing this, by saying this on recording, is because it doesn't make sense to me why Tesla's going to be that, because Tesla is a really good, I believe Tesla is one of those companies that I think long term is going to be like, I think over the next 10 years, Tesla itself as a company is going to be like an Amazon or a Google or you know, or some, or like a really big company. You know, when it comes to obviously the stock and where it is and so on and so forth. So even if we do get a big drop down, we could actually see, yeah, again, I'm hesitating here, but just by looking at, this is the daily charts here. This is the daily chart through here. By the way, guys, bit of a hint, private clients, look at this here. If we get something like this and the moving average comes down and we get that, you know what that means, right? Just my FYI for my private clients. And again, if you guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? Again, join my webinar and I'll teach you my trading system. You're like, oh, that's the reason why he was mentioning it to his private clients. Hey, private clients, look at this here. Look what we could be getting over the next, maybe next week or two on Tesla. So that's what I wanted to share with you through there. And the last thing I want to bring up is the good old Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin, all right. So let's bring up the good old Bitcoin through here, and let's go to see what's through here. So now, looking at good old Bitcoin, guys, all I do say is that it's a sucker rally, baby. It's a sucker rally. Okay, do not be trying to. All right, nothing has changed, not yet. I know a lot of people getting so excited about this. John, it went from 18,000 to 20,000. I'm so excited. The bottom's in. Here we go. Now, you could be right, okay? You could be right. But looking at these markets through here, guys, if we look at this big weekly charts, what is this big weekly chart doing? Nothing has changed yet. Nothing has changed yet, right? Look at this here. The trend is what? The trend is your friend until the end. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Nothing changes until we get back above 24,000. Nothing changes. Because guess what? This could just be what? This could just be a little upward. Oh, here we go. And then boom, like that. Right? By the way, I'm actually expecting the boom like this. Then guess what? This guy will be coming in to buy it. To buy it a lot in the markets there. So there's a bit of technical analysis for you guys. And obviously for you guys that have obviously sat around this whole time, watched this update, I want to say thank you so much for being my subscriber, and I want to just give you just a little bit of a Monday sort of motivational Monday talk that I want to share with you, that I think is in something that I think is really important for us to understand moving forward in our lives when it comes to happiness here. Okay, so this has nothing to do with trading, but it actually has everything to do with trading. The reason why we trade, right? The reason why we do what we do, because we're trying to trade. We're trying to chase this satisfaction of feeling good, feeling important, feeling significant. You know, and we want to feel happiness, right? We just want to feel happiness in those markets, and we want to feel happiness in the markets, but we want to feel happiness in ourselves, right? And again, guys, if you're just interested in the chart analysis, this has nothing to do with the chart. You can just leave if you want, but if you're interested in more like some of the stuff that goes through my mind, then that's what this last little bit is for you guys. And again, just make sure you join that webinar, link in description there. So the whole thing that I see, right? And the whole thing is, I was actually having lunch with a couple of my mates yesterday, and we watched the Jake Paul fight. By the way, guys, leave a comment below. Did you watch the Jake Paul fight? What did you think? I think, by the way, Jake Paul made huge improvements from his last fight from Tyron Woodley. And I was super impressed, right? From his Tyron Woodley fight to where he is now, I'm super impressed. So the whole thing what we're talking about is like the way we look at life, right? There's two sides of the coins we can look at life, okay? And what I'm saying here is that a lot of people can think like, oh my goodness, since 2020 has started, we went through the pandemic and businesses closed and this has happened and the stock market's crashed and all this turmoil and wars are happening. Oh my goodness, it's so bad, right? It's so bad, okay? So that's one angle. Now, what I said to my friends, because they'll ask me like, John, what makes you so excited all the time? Because when they see me at the gym, right, most of the time they see me at the gym, they just say, John, you always have this positive attitude. Where do you get this from, right? Because they know my backstory and so on and so forth, right? So the whole thing about that is I was saying to him, like I said to him, isn't it amazing that we're alive and we actually get to experience and see these things happening in life? Isn't it amazing? Right? Let's talk about this. We're talking about happiness here, right? I said, instead of looking at it like this is so bad, I'm just like, man, isn't this amazing that we actually get to experience these things in life? Like the pandemic, we actually were alive to experience that. How incredible is that? How incredible, and I'll take this off the screen, right? How incredible is that when it comes to when it comes to just being alive, right? Just being alive to be able to experience what happened in the pandemic and the shutdowns and the fear and the massive QE and what happened in the stock market and all this sort of stuff and the new books that have come out. And to see the rise of Tesla and then see the rise of the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and to see what's happening through there and gold and silver, and to see what's happening with the midterm elections and all this sort of stuff. I just think it's absolutely amazing that I'm alive to see this stuff unfold and to experience it. Now, isn't that, to me, that's just a different way of actually looking at life in general, right? I am just so deeply grateful that I get to do a YouTube video and share it with you guys, right? I am so deeply grateful and excited that I actually get to experience this, right? I could have been, like, if you guys don't know, it was 2008, 2009, I actually had stage 3 lymphatic cancer and the doctor gave me 6 months to live. So I actually shouldn't be here right now. If you guys know, I'm probably, I won't get too much into that, right? But the thing is that I could be dead. I could have been dead a long time ago and not have experienced any of this stuff that happens in life. I wouldn't have met the new friends that I have in my life. I wouldn't have experienced the things that I've experienced in the last couple of years, including experiences that I've done with myself, like a jet fighter experience. All right, if you haven't actually seen that, then you can just type in, I might even leave a link in the description there to my jet fighter experience if you haven't seen it there. But to the pandemics, to see all these things that are happening and how they're slowly unfolding and so on and so forth. So yes, there's a lot of fear in the marketplace and the stock market's crashing and everything's crashing and all that sort of stuff. And it's so bad. But isn't it so good that we are alive to actually experience this and look back and say, wow, we actually were alive to experience something like that. The pandemic, we were alive to experience something that only happens once in 100 years. The last pandemic, as you know, was 1920. Funny that, 100 years ago, right? And then now we're going to continue here. And then there's probably going to be another big pandemic, maybe another 100 years down the road, right? We're probably not going to get there's not going to be a black swan out of the markets and so on and so forth. So people looking for a black swan, it's not going to happen, right? But I really wanted to share that story with you because I think sometimes we can just look at all this stuff that's happening around us as fear and bad and oh my goodness. But if we can stop and step back and just stop stressing so much, but flip it on its head and say, wow, isn't this amazing that I'm actually alive to experience all these things we go through, to experience the joys, the happiness, the sad times, the up times, the down times, the friends that do wrong by you, the relationships that do wrong by you. Yes, it's painful. And, and then we experience, experiencing the whole Donald Trump, being elected as president and what happened through there, and then seeing what's happened with Elon Musk and buying Twitter now, to all this stuff that's happening right now at such a rapid rate. Isn't it just amazing to be alive, to actually be alive, to experience and watch this stuff unfold? Like, I think that should be our foundation to us moving forward in a big way. Because when we start to become much more happier as a person, we become much better traders, right? It's a complete shift, right? Because a lot of times we're not happy with our lives, so we go to the market to try to get that hit. All right, and we're trying to, I'm looking for a successful trade. I'm looking to make some sort of money so I can feel good and all this sort of stuff, right? So the whole thing there, guys, is that I want to encourage you to try to look at the other side of the coin of life, right? Because there's always the other side of coin in life. So many of us and our brains are going to focus on the worst, right? Oh my goodness, recession's going to come. That's it. It's all over. The world's going to turn to custard. No. Oh my goodness, John, we're going to go through one of the biggest depressions we've had in a long time. And it's going to be so bad. Okay. Yes, we're going to experience some pain, right? Yes, we're going to go through a recession or depression or something like that. And the market's going to continue to crash and all this sort of stuff. Now, if you can short the market, who cares about that, right? So here's the thing though. I want to flip it on. Again, let's actually flip it on its head once again. And it's all about the way that we look at life, the way that we actually approach life, the way that we experience life, right? Because I was actually saying this to some of my private clients. I was actually saying, okay, cool. Yes, recession, bad. Stock market crash, bad. No, stock market crash, not bad. Stock market crash, actually good. Why? Because if you know how to short the market goes down faster, you can make a lot more money quicker. Right? So it's not bad. It's good either way, right? Who cares? But it's like bad. But let's actually look at this. Let's actually flip it on its head. What is the unemployment rate during a recession? Right? What is the unemployment rate? It's what? 7%? 10%? Does it ever get up to 20%? Yeah, right? In a really big, bad depression, 20% is like a very high number, right? All right, so check this out, right? Check this out. I've been looking at shoes. Oh, well, they're nice. Focus. They're nice as well, too. Anyway, they make what? Anyway, so this is actually this is the unemployment rate here, and I'm trying to bring this up to try to bring some perspective into your life. Okay, look at this here. Through the last whatever this is, right? This is back since 1940, right? Since 1940, the unemployment rate through all the crashes and the recessions and all that sort of stuff has been what? The highest has been 10%. 10% unemployment. I want you to think about this. This is through even 2008. What happened in 2008? 10% unemployment. Bad. But that means 90% are still employed. Doesn't that? Do you see what I'm going with that, guys? It's like, I think sometimes we can look at life and we can just focus on the bad. But hang on a minute, let's actually step back and look at this here. Even in a really big crisis like '08, which almost took the whole system down, guess what? 90% of people are still employed. Things still tick over. Things still happen, right? So even if we do go through another recession or another depression and the unemployment rate starts to spike up to 6 or 7 or 8 or even 10%, guess what? There's still 90% of people out there working to make the world go around, right? It's not, I think sometimes we lock into the fear of everything being really bad, right? What if the great reset that's coming at the end of the year is going to be really good? What if that great reset included a lot of robots working so there could be a universal base income for all people, including the people in the streets? We know there's going to be a universal base income. If you guys have read AI 2041, then there's going to be a universal base income, right? That's coming. We can see that, right? It's going to be a world of abundance, right? But what happens if this great reset, which is supposed to be bad, what happens if this great reset that's happening at 2030 is going to be a complete reset of the whole medical industry? Because we know the medical industry, right? And what actually happened recently with the jab and so on and so forth and all that sort of stuff. All right, I won't go down there. I want to stay on YouTube for one more day. It's like, what if that's going to happen? What if there's a complete reset of the whole schooling system, right? And we need to update the schooling system. What happens if that happens, where we actually teach our kids about, discipline and work ethic, and failing is okay, and going out and trying things is okay, but not trying is not okay, and how investing and how economy works and so on and so forth. All this sort of stuff, right? What if the Great Reset has a lot to do with that? You see what I'm saying? So I believe the future is going to be so incredible. And a lot of the times we can think something is really, really, really bad in our lives. Oh my goodness, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad. But when we look at it, it could also be really, really, really good. Stock market crash, oh my goodness, capitulation, so bad. Well, maybe if there's a really good shorting opportunity and you're short before that, guess what? So good. Recession, so bad. Okay. 90% of people are still working. It's like, do you see that there? It's like, let's actually flip it on its head there. Oh my goodness, what we've experienced in the last 4 or 5 years is so bad. Stock market crashes and what's happening with NFTs and all this sort of, oh my goodness, in the pandemic. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful to be alive to actually experience all of this in the markets. And if we can start to flip this on its head, guys, I promise you, we can start to look at life in a different way. And we can be excited about the future. And with that excitement becomes an open-mindedness to actually then take advantage of the opportunities that's in front of us. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that, go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.